I did not read Project 2025 because from my understanding, that's not what he was running on. That's
Who told you that? Fox News? Did you do any research? Did you look up anything? I mean, my first guess would have been, if it was me, don't vote for the felon. Don't vote for the rapist. But that's just me. Don't vote for somebody that incited an insurrection. And, he did just let them all out, though. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Some are already back in jail, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. Maybe use some critical thinking skills when using the power of the vote. I don't know. Just do better.
Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. So welcome to my channel, and today I want to talk about how farmers across the United States are facing a harsh reality from rising cost, labor shortages, and policies they once supported now working against them. Some are even on the verge of losing everything. So let's get into what's happening.
Trump has already broken his #1 promise to voters that he would bring the cost of foods down. That is just not going to happen. His deportations of immigrants has caused such a huge rippling effect throughout the farm industry that it's caused many laborers who are immigrants to just not show up to work. Many of them have self-deported and gone back to wherever they're from. Going through the fields here in Ventura County, there was no one working. I'm hearing reports that some farmers are saying that 75% of their workforce did not show up to work on Friday. So what does that mean? It means food is going to stay in the vines and rot and go bad. And it means we're going to have a disruption in our food supply chain. So everyone better buckle up because food's about to shoot up really high. The cost of strawberries, the cost of avocados, the cost of lettuce, the cost of everyday things we eat and take for granted are going to shoot up because there is no one in the fields to pick them. So I hope you all are happy who voted for this man.
I might lose my farm because of the government. I got in bed with the government. I was promoting getting in bed with the government because I thought it was a good idea. So, NRCS, conservation planning. So they had a program out there called the EQIP program. And what the EQIP program is it's cost sharing on stuff like fencing, different seedings, water lines, waters, wells, and stuff like that to better conserve farmland for agriculture use. So, I thought it was a great program. We got a contract with them for $240,000. So we signed a contract with them for $240,000, and we have bought different types of material. We've gotten paid out on some of it, but I now have $80,000 worth of material and signed contracts for labor that are going to install the water lines in the upcoming few weeks and months. And with that being said, they called me today and said, hey, I know we have this signed contract. We're reneging on it. We're not going to pay out on it. What do you mean you're not going to pay out on it? So I've got all this stuff bought, and whenever I install it, you're not going to pay out? We had this contract. I made business decisions based on this contract. So now I have $80,000 out of my pocket that I didn't have to spend. So the $80,000 that we have is supposed to go to our farm loan in the fall. If we don't have that money, that's our hay money, that's our farm money, our farm payment money. If we don't have that money, we will lose this farm. And the only way that I can think to get around it is we sell some cows. And if I sell cows now to make the payment, to make that payment, I'm not going to be able to make the payment in the fall because the cows are calculated in my payment in the fall. So because I got in bed with the government, I spent money based on a contract that we signed. They're reneging on it. I'm just screwed. And unless they lift this pause on payment, I'm going to lose this farm. So they have told me that the best thing that they can tell me is get in touch with the congressmen and congresswomen and see if I can get something done about this. So I've reached out to Ann Wagner's office. That's the congresswoman of Missouri. I'm hoping that something comes out of that, but I don't have very high hopes of it. Hopefully this is a temporary ban on payment of that, but I don't understand how you can sign a contract and then just renege on that contract. I do not understand that at all. And if something doesn't change, we are going to lose this farm, and I am extremely stressed about it.
Now, let's see what people have to say about the farmer losing his land. And spoiler alert, no one's feeling sorry for him. Actually, they're calling it karma. And they're saying he ignored the warnings and didn't read the 2025 project or just didn't care. But now he's dealing with the fallout of his own vote. Here's what people are saying.
With all these people that regret voting for Donald Trump, we don't feel bad. This was laid out in Project 2025. We warned everyone, but y'all didn't want to believe us. And so because you voted for Donald Trump, you're at risk of losing your farm. You should have done more research. But what sucks the most is the farmers that did the research and voted for Kamala. Those are the ones we feel bad about. It hasn't even been 3 weeks yet, and so many people are in the find out stage. Next time there's an election, just do more research.
So you're a farmer who is not getting paid because he signed a contract under the Inflation Reduction Act, and Donnie signed an executive order saying, fuck that shit? I cannot tell you how many times I have tried to warn you fucks about what was happening. I literally read it to you because you didn't read it.
I need your help to save my farm and many other farms.
Some farmers are finding out the hard way about voting for Trump. So let's make this very clear. This farmer voted for Trump, yet he was taking advantage of a program through the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a Biden policy. And now that Trump has come into office, he has frozen that, and he's might not get his funds even though he had a contract, meaning he put out a bunch of his own money thinking he was going to get paid back by the government. Now he probably isn't and could very likely lose his farm. Growing up, my family was like an agriculture adjacent business. My husband is a 4th generation farmer. My children want to be 5th generation farmers. It pains me to see this. Like, I will never rejoice at a farmer possibly losing their farm because I know what that means. Like, farming is not just a job, it is a way of life. Your whole life revolves around farming. Everything you do, every decision you make. Now, with that being said, I have empathy, I don't have sympathy. All the information that was available to me and every other farmer that voted blue was available to this person. Now, I get there's so much that goes into this. Like, you are ingrained when you live in a red rural area that Dems are evil and that red is the only way to go and that red is for farmers, and it's just not true. On my old account that got banned, I so many times shared the data with farmers that you netted more income under Biden than you did under Trump. That Trump decimated small farms with his tariffs his last term. And that if it wasn't for a bailout from taxpayers, there would have been even more small farms that went under. And every time they argued with me, they ignored the facts. They didn't want to hear it. And that stubbornness is getting you to where you are today.
Well, here we are, another case of people realizing too late that their vote has consequences. Now, this farmer thought he was securing his future, but instead he's watching everything fall apart. And the internet, they have zero sympathy. Honestly, it's hard to feel bad when so many people warn them. The 2025 project wasn't a secret. The signs were there, the policies were clear, but some folks were too blinded by loyalty to pay attention. And now they're the ones suffering the most. And you see, farmers have been the ones struggling for years, from tariffs that made their businesses more expensive to immigration policies that wiped out their workforce. On top of that, farmers across the country are in crisis because of the immigration policies they once supported. Many of these workers weren't just random laborers. They were actually the backbone of American farms. So because of these mass deportations, and many workers are living on their own now, the entire fields are sitting untouched, and crops will begin to rot, and fruits also are going to be unharvested. And very soon they are going to feel it at the grocery stores because prices will go up and supplies will go down. At this point, I have a question for you guys. Do you feel any sympathy for this farmer who invested nearly $80,000 into his farm only to have his government contract cancelled? And now he's drowning in debt, and if he sells his cows to pay it off, he'll lose the farm altogether. So is this an unfortunate situation or just the natural consequences of his choices? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more trending stories. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.